Margarito gets licensed in Texas. Kevin, could Texas at least act like they thought about this a little bit and took some time about the licensing?
Yeah, I guess, they think they did. They got Margarito's application on Monday, and they didn't give him his license until Wednesday. So, they acted like they really were going to, do a thorough investigation into this. And, I've said, a number of times since Margarito was caught with the loaded hand wraps that he deserved to have a license from a very strict technical legal standpoint. But what disgusts me about this, Steve, is the fact that he's going into the biggest fight, or one of the three biggest fights of the year. I mean, I think the two biggest fights right now have been Pacquiao, Clottey, Mayweather, Mosley, and this fight is right up there with both of those. And that's just absolutely vile, disgusting, whatever adjective you want to use to describe it. It's horrendous, and it's blood money as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. But you did say a while ago, from the letter of the law standpoint, that he probably deserved a license, and especially in Nevada because Tyson had been relicensed. So what kind of, did something make you uncomfortable the last couple of weeks with the way it went down?
Well, no. I mean, here's the thing. I think from a licensing issue, my standpoint has always been, he meets the requirements. He served the penalty that he was given, and there was no legal impediment that could block him. So from that standpoint, you have to license the guy. If you're going to deny somebody, you have to say, well, this is why we're going to deny you. You could say, well, we're going to deny you because you were caught in California, but then that's extending the penalty beyond on what it was. And even a guy that's arrested for murder, when he serves his prison term, whether it's 10 years or 20 years, when he's out, he's out. And so. But what I didn't like about it, and where my argument comes, I've been consistent on it. I haven't changed, although some people think that I have. My argument is, okay, license him, and he doesn't have to fight anybody or fight stiffs or whatever. But Top Rank doesn't have to give him this huge platform. HBO doesn't have to put him on this platform to allow him to make millions of dollars, and it ruins the sport. I mean, it would be like a baseball team signing Jose Canseco again, or letting Mark McGwire be your hitting coach. Well, I guess they did that, but so that's but that to me is what it would be, and this guy is despicable, and he doesn't deserve to be treated this way. And think about it, Louis Resto and Panama Lewis, they went to jail, rightfully so, for their role in the 1983 incident with Billy Collins. Not only was the stuffing removed from the gloves, but they also put plaster of Paris on the hand wraps, basically turned it into a cast. They went to jail. Panama Lewis to this day cannot train fighters, cannot work in corners. Louis Resto never boxed again. You know what Margarito's penalty was, Steve? One fight. Because if you look at it, from 2001 through 2008, he fought 2 times a year, every year. So he fought twice a year in those years. In 2009, he fought in January. He didn't fight again the rest of the year because of the penalty. He came back this year. He's already fought once in 2010, and now he's going to fight in November. So what did he really miss? He missed that second fight in 2009. Absolutely ridiculous that we're in this situation.
So how do you think fans and how do you think media is going to greet this? Is it just like nothing happened?
I think that there's too many people in the media that are afraid of their own shadow, and that are, going to be like clapping seals and just, go along with it, that they're happy that, that Margarito got licensed and that they're boxing fans. And, to me, it's disgusting. Stand up for the courage of your convictions. There were some people that wrote stories yesterday about the fight, Margarito getting licensed, and never once were critical of it, but now are putting on Twitter, I don't like this. Well, why didn't you put that in your story when you wrote your story? I mean, it's ridiculous. From a fan standpoint, I think it's going to be mixed. Of course, the Pacquiao fans are going to be what they are. They are myopic. They bury their head in the sand. They just love Manny, and they don't care about anything else. They don't have ethics, anything else. And it's like, whatever Manny does is right. Pacquiao should have said no. He has power in this situation. And, I'm disgusted that Pacquiao didn't say, I don't want to fight this guy. You know what? And I want to show, he's a congressman now. And I wrote in my column, I said, when you lay with the dogs, you get fleas. And Manny Pacquiao is flea infested.
Well, on that subject about reputations being sullied, you're on my radio show in Vegas all the time with Dave Koken. Dave was under the belief that, hey, maybe Jerry Jones wouldn't want to be associated with this. I guess he doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, people's ethics get drawn, put aside when there's, tens of millions of dollars to be had. I guess that's the only way to go. But I mean, I think it sullies everybody who's involved in this. I mean, this is the worst thing that can be done in boxing. Now, did Margarito know? That's the question. Right? In other words, if he would be a victim in the case if he truly did not know. He's a victim because Javier Capetillo then put it in and cost him the fight, a second fight last year, and really, put a stain on his career. But does anybody believe that he really didn't know? I've talked to a lot of boxers. Not one boxer has said, I don't think he knew. Every single one,
Right.
bar none, said they know, what he has in his gloves, and they know that they believe, in fact, that he knew.
Kevin, haven't there been people behind the scenes who said, hell, the guy at times used it in sparring?
Well, I got that from a fighter right on the night of January 24th when I was walking back to my hotel. He didn't want to be quoted on the record, so I didn't use his name. But in fact, he was in my hotel. I was getting on my elevator, and I just happened to say to him, "Hey, did you hear what happened with Margarito tonight?" And he says, "Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. He wore that in sparring all the time. Everybody at the gym knew about it." So apparently wasn't the first time. I don't know if in fact that was the case, Steve, but that's what he said. And I've never forgotten that. But the bottom line in this is that what is wrong with Jerry Jones? What is wrong with Bob Arum? You can put a Pacquiao fight on. There's a lot of guys out there that you can make a good fight with. But I said that they're trying to sell Margarito's macabre celebrity in my column, and that's really what they're doing. He's a villain now, so people are going to want to see him get his comeuppance and get beaten up, and that's what they're going to buy. And it's really sad that the sport is denigrated to this. And there's a number of good fighters out there that are trying to get fights and can't get dates on HBO, can't get good fights. They're doing the right things. They're working hard. They're following all the rules. And then this joker, can pull what he pulled and end up fighting Manny Pacquiao pound for pound. Shame on Bob Arum, shame on Top Rank, shame on Manny Pacquiao, shame on HBO, shame on Jerry Jones. I'll tell you this, Dan Rooney and the Pittsburgh Steelers wouldn't do it.
All right, Kev, nice job.
Thank you, Steve.